The quiet moment most seniors never talk about. It usually happens at night. Not when you are busy. Not when you are walking outside during the day. It happens in that quiet moment when you get out of bed. You place your foot on the floor, and for a second it does not feel like the floor. It feels numb, or fuzzy, or like your foot is wrapped in thick socks, even when it is not. For many people, this is the first sign of numb feet after 60. And what scares them is not pain. It is the loss of balance. The fear of falling in the dark. The sudden thought, what if my body doesn't respond when I need it to? Tingling feet at night have a way of making those thoughts louder. Because when the house is quiet, you can feel everything more. I have worked with older adults for many years. And I hear this story again and again. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to worry my kids. I thought this was just part of getting older. But here is something very important you need to hear. Numb feet after 60 are not always a sign of damage. Very often, they are early signals from your nervous system. Quiet signals. Signals that your body is asking for attention, not giving up. Tingling feet at night are one of the most common early signs doctors see before balance problems and falls begin. Yet most people are never told what to do at this stage. Tonight, I want to show you a gentle 1-minute routine that may help wake up numb feet safely. No strain, no force. Just a calm way to remind your brain that your feet are still there. Before we continue, tell me this. Comment 1 if numb feet after 60 sound familiar to you. Comment 0 if they do not. And stay with me. Because what comes next explains why this happens and why most people unknowingly make it worse. The most dangerous mistake seniors make about numb feet. For many people over 60, numb feet do not start with pain. They start with doubt. A quiet doubt that creeps in when your balance feels less certain. When standing up takes a second longer. When you hesitate before taking that first step. And the most common thought I hear is this. I guess this is just aging. This belief is one of the most dangerous mistakes seniors make about numb feet after 60. Not because it is foolish, but because it feels reasonable. I remember a patient named John. He was 67 years old, clear mind, independent, still driving. But he told me something he had never shared with his family. I don't trust my feet anymore, he said. They don't hurt. They just don't answer right away. John had numb feet after 60, along with tingling feet at night that came and went. He assumed this was normal aging, so he ignored it. He did not want to worry his children. He did not want to admit he felt less steady. What John did not realize is that numb feet after 60 are often early nerve signals. Not damage, not failure. They are early peripheral neuropathy symptoms that show up quietly. Think of your nerves like old electrical wires in a house. The wires may be worn, but they are not broken. The signal still travels, just more slowly and less clearly. Tingling feet at night often make these signals more noticeable. Because when circulation slows and the nervous system becomes quiet, there is nothing left to distract you from the message. Here is the gentle warning many people miss. When early nerve signals are ignored for too long, the brain slowly stops paying attention to the feet. Not as punishment, but as a survival shortcut. This is when loss of balance begins. This is when fear of falling quietly takes hold. But here is the hopeful part. Early nerve signals are also the stage where support works best. Where safe, gentle stimulation can help the brain reconnect. Where awareness matters more than effort. John did not need aggressive treatment. He needed understanding and a calm way to remind his nervous system that his feet still mattered. And here is the question most seniors ask next. If these early nerve signals are so common, why do numb feet after 60 and tingling feet at night almost always feel worse after dark? Why numb feet and tingling feel worse at night? For many seniors, the strangest part is not that their feet feel numb. It is that everything feels worse at night. During the day, numb feet after 60 may barely register. You are moving, talking, distracted. But at night, when the house is quiet, the tingling creeps in. Tingling feet at night often feel louder, heavier, harder to ignore. And many people ask me the same question. Why does this happen when I'm finally resting? The answer surprises most seniors. It is not because lying down is harmful, and it is not because your nerves suddenly get worse after sunset. It is because your body changes how it prioritizes signals. I once worked with a patient named Maria. She was 72. Every night around 3 in the morning, she would wake up with tingling feet at night. Not pain. Just a buzzing awareness that made it hard to fall back asleep. She told me she was afraid to get out of bed, afraid of losing her balance in the dark, afraid of falling on the way to the bathroom. Maria thought something serious was happening. What was actually happening was much simpler. At night, circulation naturally slows. Your heart rate drops. Blood flow to the feet becomes gentler. At the same time, the nervous system quiets down. The brain reduces background noise. There is less movement, less stimulation, fewer distractions. That is when numb feet after 60 become noticeable. That is when early peripheral neuropathy symptoms speak up. Think of it like a house late at night. During the day, the lights are on, the TV is playing, and people are moving around. At night, everything goes quiet. You suddenly hear sounds that were always there. Tingling feet at night work the same way. Here is another piece that many people do not realize. When the brain feels uncertainty from the feet at night, it becomes cautious. It reduces trust in the signal. This is where loss of balance often begins, not with a fall, but with hesitation, a pause before standing, a hand reaching for the wall, a quiet fear of falling that many seniors never talk about. But this stage is also important for a hopeful reason. Nighttime symptoms often mean the connection is still there. The signal is weak, not gone. Your brain is still listening. Maria did not need stronger medication. She needed reassurance, a gentle way to calm her nervous system before bed. And this is where many well-meaning seniors make the next mistake. They try to fix numb feet after 60 by pushing harder, by forcing movement, by exercising aggressively. Stay with me, because the next part explains why that approach can actually make tingling feet at night and loss of balance feel worse, and what works better instead. Why pushing harder can make numb feet worse. When numb feet after 60 do not improve, many seniors do what they have always been told to do. They push harder, they walk longer, they stretch more aggressively, they force movement, hoping strength will come back. And if you have tried that, I want you to hear this first. You did not do anything wrong. I have seen this pattern hundreds of times. People are trying to help themselves. They are trying to stay independent. They are trying to avoid loss of balance and the fear of falling. But the nervous system does not respond to force the way muscles do. I worked with a man named Robert. He was 69, active, disciplined, determined. When numb feet after 60 began, he increased his workouts, more steps, faster pace, harder stretches. Instead of improving, his tingling feet at night became worse. His feet felt more irritated, and his balance felt less reliable. Robert thought he was failing. What was really happening is something most seniors are never told. Your nerves need safety before they respond to effort. Think of the nervous system like a cautious guard. If movement feels rushed or aggressive, the brain tightens control. It reduces the signal to protect you. This is why forcing movement can increase tingling in the feet at night, and why pushing too hard can quietly increase loss of balance. The brain is not punishing you. It is trying to keep you safe. Here is the simple science behind it. When movement feels unsafe, nerve signals become noisy. When signals become noisy, the brain trusts them less. And when trust drops, the connection weakens. That is when numb feet after 60 feel heavier. That is when the fear of falling grows, even if no fall has happened yet. Robert did not need more effort. He needed a different approach. He needed slow signals, predictable signals, movements that told his nervous system you are safe. Once he shifted away from forcing and toward calming, something changed. His tingling feet at night softened. His confidence in standing up returned before his strength did. This is why gentle routines work when aggressive ones fail. And this leads us to the most surprising part of all. The routine that helps wake up numb feet after 60 is not long. It is not intense, and it does not look like exercise. Stay with me, because in the next part, I will show you why a 1-minute routine can work better than everything you have tried so far, what the 1-minute routine really is and why it works. This is the part many seniors find hardest to believe. After everything you have tried, after walking more, stretching harder, pushing through discomfort, the thing that helps numb feet after 60 is not more effort. It is less. A 1-minute routine works because it does something most exercises do not. It speaks the language of your nervous system. I want to be very clear about this. This routine is not about strength. It is not about flexibility. And it is not about forcing blood through tired legs. It is about communication. I remember a patient named Linda. She was 74. She told me she had stopped trying long routines because she felt exhausted before she even started. "I just don't have the energy for that anymore," she said. Linda had numb feet after 60 and steady tingling feet at night. She worried about loss of balance, especially first thing in the morning. So instead of asking her to do more, I asked her to do less. I told her to try something simple, 1 minute, at the same time every day, usually while her morning coffee was brewing. What surprised her was how quickly her body responded. Here is why this works. Your brain constantly asks one question about your feet. Are they safe? When the answer feels uncertain, the brain reduces trust. It quiets the signal. That is when numb feet after 60 feel heavier and less responsive. A gentle 1-minute routine sends the opposite message. Slow movement, predictable rhythm, no strain. This tells the nervous system this is safe. When safety comes first, circulation follows naturally, nerve signals become clearer, and tingling feet at night often soften because the brain is no longer on guard. This is why short routines can outperform long workouts for seniors. They build confidence before strength, trust before effort. Linda noticed something important after a few weeks. Her balance felt steadier before her legs felt stronger. Her fear of falling faded before the numbness disappeared. That order matters, because independence does not start with power. It starts with trust. And this leads to the most important part of all. The routine itself is only one piece. What truly makes the difference is how your nervous system feels while you do it. In the final part, I want to talk about that missing piece, the one factor that determines whether your body continues to change or stays stuck, the one thing that determines whether your body can still change. Before we end, there is one thing I want you to hear clearly. Your body is not finished changing, even with numb feet after 60. Even if tingling feet at night have been part of your life for years. Even if you have already tried many things that did not help. What determines change is not age. It is how safe your nervous system feels. I have seen this again and again in people well into their 70s and 80s. When the body feels rushed, judged, or forced, it resists. When it feels calm, predictable, and supported, it adapts. That is why this conversation matters. Numb feet after 60 are not a verdict. They are feedback. They are your body saying, slow down, pay attention, work with me. Tingling feet at night are not a failure. They are often a sign that the connection is still there, quiet but present. And when you respond with patience instead of pressure, the nervous system often meets you halfway. This is how balance begins to return. This is how confidence comes back before strength does. This is how the fear of falling slowly loosens its grip. You do not need to do everything at once. You do not need to fix your body. You only need to start listening differently. Tonight or tomorrow morning, try one small thing. The 1-minute routine you learned. Do it calmly, without expectations, without forcing a result. Let it be a conversation, not a test. And I want to ask you something, because your answer matters. When did you first notice the numbness? Was it sudden, or did it creep in slowly over time? Share your story in the comments. Others reading may recognize themselves in your words. If this video helped you understand numb feet after 60 or tingling feet at night in a new way, consider subscribing. Not because you need more information, But because you deserve guidance that respects where you are in life, your body can still change. Not overnight, not perfectly, but gently. And often, that is more than enough.